Every day I get to live a dream. I'm so happy where I'm at. I don't want to go anywhere else, and just to be able to go out in Beaver Stadium every Saturday in the fall, or come out here on these last practice football fields, or to come into this building every day is a dream.
Yeah.
Well, right off the bat, we had 65 scholarships.
Yeah.
We didn't have 85.
Mm-hmm.
So you're 20 less elite players to line up against the Big Ten schedule.
Yeah.
And, that in itself was a challenge. The fact that our first year we weren't allowed to go to a bowl game, at least to start the season, that switched sometime during the season.
Mm-hmm.
So that hurts recruiting.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if there's no reward at the end of the road, kids were going other places.
Mm-hmm.
And so it affected recruiting big time. And we all know the lifeblood of Penn State are the people, and the people are the recruits.
Yeah.
And the prospects are the players that come here and play and build the walls around us. So, it was really challenging. We had a compliance officer that was assigned specifically to football, which no other team in the country had.
What's up, guys? Welcome into the Next Up podcast. I'm Adam Breneman. We're on campus at Penn State today, actually on Coach Franklin's balcony, practice field behind us, doing a little Penn State season preview series of podcasts with coaches, players, everything you need to know about Penn State football going into the season, happening right here over the next few days on my YouTube channel. Before we get to the interviews, please subscribe to this channel, whether you're on YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Press that subscribe button. All your support allows us to travel around the country and have some of the best guests in the country in college football on this show. So please show some support. Let's go talk to the guys. Before we get to the pod, I want to tell you all about our newest sponsor, Athletic Greens. And let me tell you, when I found out about this sponsor, I was fired up because I've been using Athletic Greens for years, and I want to promote to you guys the things I actually use. I love Athletic Greens. As a former Division I athlete, I've tried countless supplements, and recently my nutrition and my health has become a bigger deal for me as I get farther away from my playing career. And let me tell you, Athletic Greens is the real deal. Has me feeling healthy and energized every single day. With as much as I'm on the road, traveling, shooting podcasts, it's hard to have a healthy diet, hard to have healthy nutrition, hard for me to get my vitamins and minerals every single day. My doctor even told me that last time I saw him. But with Athletic Greens, I get 75 plus vitamins, minerals, and a bunch of other healthy things. I don't even know what they are, but I know they're good for you. And when I wake up every single day now, I feel energized. My digestion has never been better, and I'm ready to attack each and every day because of Athletic Greens and AG1. So if you want to take ownership of your health like I am right now, try AG1 today at drinkag1.com/nextup, and you get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs when you go to my link, tryag1.com/nextup. And guys, all of you who support this podcast, you guys supporting our sponsors helps me a ton. So please go support AG1 and support Next Up through the process and optimize your health and nutrition today. drinkag1.com/nextup. Check it out. Next Up. How things been?
Good. Yeah.
Camp going well?
Camp is good. Yeah, things are good. So far, we're healthy.
That's all you can ask for.
Yeah. Get them to the game. That's the key.
Oh, we good? My first thought walking out here, we were just talking about it with Coach Diaz. Training camp's changed a lot since your playing days, huh?
Yeah. Well, yeah. You go
even
from
the last 10 years, probably.
Yeah. You go from 3-a-days to, we really just have one practice a day.
Yeah.
You sometimes we have a walkthrough in the morning, but you just have practice. So. It's a lot different.
Yeah.
The game has advanced, so there's more resources. Guys are better prepared and better equipped, going into camp. So, back in the day, you come into camp to get into shape.
Yeah.
Well, now guys are in shape when they walk in.
Yeah. How cool is it for you? I was thinking about this when I saw you a couple weeks ago. Just for you to be at Penn State, where you played, where you had so much success, and to be now having even more success as a coach and all the people you're impacting here. I mean, it's got to be cool to do it at a place like Penn State, right?
Yeah, it's very rewarding.
Yeah.
Because Penn State has given me so much and given my family so much, and I have the opportunity to give back. And I pride myself in just shaping and guiding and helping these young men, and that's my life's calling.
Yeah.
Every day I get to live a dream. I'm so happy where I'm at. I don't want to go anywhere else, and just to be able to go out in Beaver Stadium every Saturday in the fall, or come out here on these last practice football fields, or to come into this building every day is a dream.
Yeah.
And just knowing that you have an impact on this program and the future of this program.
Yeah, I want to ask you about recruiting first, because you've had so much success. You're one of the top recruiters in the country. You've brought in some elite talent that have come through that DB room. Take me through step by step. You find an elite guy that you want. You've never talked to him before. What's the process from first contact to when he commits, and all the effort and the time, and what's your strategy when you go into recruiting a guy like that?
Yeah, obviously it's identifying who you think is that guy.
Yeah.
There's a whole process internally of watching film, just doing some homework of, does he fit your style? Like, what are you looking for at corner? And, there's some characteristics that are non-negotiables. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, one of the most important things is they have to have an elite characteristic.
Yeah.
They have to be great at something, whether it's great length, great speed, great ball skills, exceptional competitor.
Yeah.
They have to carry an elite trait. Mm-hmm. If they don't have an elite trait, it's probably just not the fit for us.
Yeah.
And then, building relationship. Mm-hmm. You want to have a relationship with his coach. You want to have a relationship with his champions of life, whether that's his trainer, family, mom, dad, uncle, whoever's in his life that he leans on. Mm-hmm. And then in that relationship has to be truth.
Yeah. And
I pride myself on never lying to a kid. Mm-hmm. Just telling him what the truth is. I'm recruiting a kid right now that he come up on an official visit, and in the meeting I told him, you're lacking tackling skills. And at the end of the day, most people aren't going to tell a recruit where their weaknesses are.
Yeah.
And so I want him to know and be comfortable that this is how we talk here. Mm-hmm. The only way we can be great is to identify where we're weak or lacking and improve on it. Yeah. And so, just total truth and honesty and persistence, being genuine. Mm-hmm. Don't be a fake guy, just be who you are. And, that's worked really well. And then, you have this place, Penn State.
It's easy to sell, right?
It's easy to sell. Once you get here and you look around, it's safe. It's one of the best universities on the planet. We play great football. You have the opportunity to live your dream, go to the NFL if that is in your dreams. And we got an elite head coach with a great vision. So,
when it comes to the evaluation process of defensive backs, I've always been intrigued by it, because you have different philosophies, different strategies. I've seen people go more on the length and the height. Like, how do you balance the desire maybe to take the guy who is 6'2" with really long arms that looks the part, versus the smaller corner who is productive and has great coverage skills and is physical? Like, how do you balance that in your evaluation process?
Yeah, obviously when you're looking at a corner, you want a guy that looks like Joey Porter. Yeah. Like, if you can draw it up the dream.
You want Joey Porter Jr.?
Yeah, Joey Porter Jr. That 6'2" long guy that can run, athletic. I mean, that's for so many advantages, but at the end of the day, your more common corners are going to be built like Kaylen King and Johnny Dixon and even Daquan Hardy, who's our nickel. Yeah. Those are smaller, regular-sized guys that they have elite quickness, elite toughness, and dog mentalities. Yeah. I mean, that's a non-negotiable when you're a smaller guy. Yeah. You got to carry a chip on your shoulder that's different than a bigger guy. Yeah. And so, we're looking for, again, that elite characteristic. Yeah. But a dog competitor. Yeah. We need physicality here. We gonna fit in the run game. Yeah. And guys got to just be willing to compete. Yeah.
You mentioned Coach Franklin. I wanted to ask you about him specifically in your relationship, because one, I know how much he trusts you and values you. I mean, you've been by his side through almost his whole time here, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
10 years.
10 years, yeah. So you've been with him through everything. I know you're one of his most trusted confidants. What's that relationship mean to you? And then what's maybe some time that you saw Coach Franklin, maybe early on, and you said, man, this guy's an elite head coach? Guys, we have a new sponsor for the Next Up podcast, Caldera Lab, and I am fired up. Because of Caldera Lab, I'm able to put my best face forward. How do I do that? By adding a skincare routine from Caldera Lab into my day every single day. Now, I know what you're saying. There's no way this guy sticks to a skincare routine, but joke's on you, because there's no way this face stays this clean and looks this good without it. And honestly, it's not that hard. I just needed the tools, and now I have them from Caldera Lab. Here's some insight on my personal routine. Number 1, the clean slate. It's a face wash that starts and ends every single day for me. Number 2, the base layer, a moisturizer that hydrates my skin. And number 3, the good, a bedtime night serum that has my skin feeling tighter and smoother than ever before. The skincare world is not just for females anymore, it's for men too, and it's doing wonders for me. So what are y'all waiting for? Go to calderalab.com/AdamB for 20% off their best products. That's a huge discount at calderalab.com/AdamB. And guys, supporting our sponsors like Caldera Lab supports me and allows me to do this podcast every single week for all of you. So please support Caldera Lab at calderalab.com/AdamB for 20% off. What's maybe some time that you saw Coach Franklin, maybe early on, and you said, man, this guy's an elite head coach?
Well, you know, it's been awesome for how Coach has invited me into his inner circle. You know, when I came 10 years ago, I was the only coach that did not travel from Vanderbilt.
That's right, yep.
I came from Temple. I was the only outsider coach, and here I am, the last one standing of that original staff. So, you know, Coach has been awesome to me and my family. He's welcomed me with open arms. He trusts my value that I bring. He trusts the knowledge that I bring, and you know, he knows I don't come with a million ideas, but when I come with one or two, there's validity behind it, and he values it. Yeah. So, you know, it's been really, really good. You know, I love working for him. Mm-hmm. You know, early on when we got here, you know, the program was just coming off the sanctions. Yeah. And what he did in that first year or two really showed me a different side, that this guy is an elite coach. Mm-hmm. His decision making, his organizational skills, his football knowledge, all capped into one. You know, you just saw it at an early time, and you know, here we are in year 10. Yeah. He's considered one of the best in the country.
Yeah, yeah. No, going back to that time when you got here with him, I mean, that was a challenging time. Thinking back to it, I mean, those are the 2 years that I was here when you guys all came in, and I talked to Coach about it a lot when he was on my podcast. But what were some of those specific challenges that you remember thinking back on? I mean, again, to think where the program is now, from where people said it was going to be, when I mean, there were some tough days there. What were some of the challenges that maybe the average fan didn't think about that we were going through in 2014 and 15 and 16?
Well, right off the bat, you know, we had 65 scholarships.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't have 85. Mm-hmm. So you're 20 less elite players to line up against the Big Ten schedule. Yeah. And, you know, that in itself was a challenge. The fact that our first year we weren't allowed to go to a bowl game, at least to start the season, that switched sometime during the season. Mm-hmm. So that hurts recruiting. Yeah. You know, because at the end of the day, if there's no reward at the end of the road, you know, kids were going other places. Mm-hmm. And so it affected recruiting big time. And we all know the lifeblood of Penn State are the people, and the people are the recruits. Yeah. And the prospects are the players that come here and play and build the walls around us. So, you know, it was really challenging. We had a compliance officer that was assigned specifically to football, which no other team in the country had. And just, you know, there was all kind of challenges around that. But, you know, Coach Franklin managed it, put us in positions to succeed, surrounded us with a great staff, and man, we've grown tremendously from there. Yeah. I think we've almost tripled our staff. Yeah. Facilities are tripled, and you know, everything's getting bigger and better. Yeah. And you know, we have new administration. from new AD to a new president that are all aligned in one path. And it's a great time to be at Penn State.
Yeah. I want to ask you about the replacing the corner opposite of Kaylen King this year, and Johnny Dixon, obviously, and that's such a big role, a big spot you got to fill. How has he looked during training camp so far?
Yeah, Johnny's he's up to the task. He looks great. The beauty of it, Joey Porter missed, I think, the last 4 games last season. And Johnny stepped right in, and we didn't miss a beat. And so he's got valuable experience. Johnny led, I think it was all corners and sacks. Like, what a statistic for a cornerback, right? So, but he had, I think, 9 or 10 pass breakups last year. So this guy's prepared. And he's ready to step into that forelight. He knows he's going to be called to task. Last year Joey was the guy, and Kaylen got a lot more action. Now Kaylen is considered the guy. Well, Johnny, you're up.
Some action.
And he's looking forward to it. He's been fantastic this preseason. He's just working on nourishing his body and just getting his mind and feet right to challenge him and be a consistent every down player.
How's the wide receiver room looking? I mean, you see those guys every single day, and it's an area that on the offense, really the only kind of question mark where there weren't a lot of guys returning or a lot of guys that have produced at a high level. How have they looked during training camp?
Yeah, I tell you, we got a new coach in, Marcus Hagens, who's done a tremendous job with those guys. They're a lot more competitive. A guy like Keandre has taken to the forefront of that room.
He can roll.
He's explosive. He can flat out turn his feet over. He's a really good route runner, good hands. We need him to play like he played in the Rose Bowl. And he's been doing that so far this camp. And then we have a host of younger guys like Amari Evans, Trey Wallace. We got the transfer Dante Cephas in. All these guys are having really, really consistent spring or fall ball. And they're creating new challenges for my room, which is going to make us better. And we hadn't had this challenge the last few years, and it's a good battle going back and forth.
Well, Coach, I appreciate your time, man. I'm excited to see you this season, and congrats on all your success and everything you do for Penn State, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.